Yo, good morning, good evening, good night, whatever it may be. Right now, you are watching Smoke Point with the one and only Mr. Horizontally Boss It, Intergalactical Smoking, Madman, Storm is in the place, yeah? You know how he does this.
And the girl get wanted. And the girl get wanted.
Today, this is some superior special. Like, we're gonna take it a bit further. We're gonna go to jungle drum and bass. So we're gonna go to 3 legends. We're gonna start off with one called Shabba D. Yeah?
Well, go on, people. I'm just here repping my family, Storming. You don't know, my brother from another. Just bigging up Lordy, bigging up the Grime Report Massive, bigging up all the heads out there, all the drum and bass, all the jungle heads, all the new school, all the old school. I'm here, innit? I'm in the studio with a cloud of smoke. What can I say? Big up the man, them.
Shabba
Dini!
Trust me.
Live on Facebook, yeah, we're doing the thing, we're voicing tunes, and we're back in the music zone, so that's all good, people. I'm just here to represent. Like I say, I'm free for questions, whatever. Well, what am I doing? I'm talking about the
We're doing a lot, mate. We're doing a whole lot. But before we go any further, I've got another person. You see this guy? All he has to say is, hey!
Hi. Yeah, respecting the place of the Storm, and we've got a show running here today, man. The studio's really smoky. I hope you can see us right now. Got to big up the mans in the place, up tight Swift. Obviously, got to big up Storm and Shabba Dini inside the place, up tight the Sly. Man, if you take a quick pan to the left, you can see we ain't playing. Pan straight back, people can copy. Yeah, we just making some tunes right now, and it's really healthy. You know, we've got a nice new movement that's moving right now amongst the MCs and stuff, with the tunes and stuff, and the producers are starting to support us. But that's another story. But things are looking really good for the years to come. The youngsters coming up feeling the same way, and the support for more MC-led tunes, you know, and get things sprouting off and another direction for that. That's definitely the movement for what's to come. But it's smoky in there. We're going to keep the smoke pumping. I'll speak to you in a bit. Hip hip, hey.
Yeah.
So, damn, that was a good one, yeah? I want to big up Panda Dabs because he just loaded me up with this next level stuff. I don't know what's going on here. This is some intergalactic Yota Yomi Hai Wong Song Peng Sing Leng and Boss It powers, yeah? Anyway, so as you know now, we're in here with some legends. The other legend, you'll see him in a bit. I'm not gonna say nothing for him. So we're gonna start off like this. Let's start with man like Shabba. Shabba, how did you start the microphone business? What age did you start, and how did you start? What made you start?
Boy, all I can say, I've been doing it. If I don't know if you're aware of this, well, you might not be. Man had their 25-year anniversary like in May, innit? I had 2. I had one in Bristol, which was 2 months ago, and I had one in May, which was the sellout event at Coronet. 25 years in the game. I first started, the first time I got really into my residential, into jungle and things like that was through the radio. It was through pirate radio. I'm from like East London. Yeah, I was fortunate, obviously I knew people that was involved in getting the radio. Cut a long story short, Weekend Rush, down to Defection, straight away to Cool FM. But they were the legendary radio stations back in the day. It's almost like a you know, an audio version of Kiss FM or MTV. Do you know what I'm saying? Not Kiss FM, MTV. Like back in the day, there weren't them visuals, and it was all about your voice and being on the radio. And I got involved at the radio at the age of 13. So I was on the radio, bunking school, going in the studio. Next thing, them days it weren't about lyrics. It was about appearance. It was about how you sounded, clear voice, things like that, hosting. And I just got involved like that. One thing led to another. I was looking after the studio. Next thing, you know, I had a vision, man. I used to play professional football as well. My vision was to be, obviously I was always chatting lyrics from the ragga days. Got involved in it through Weekend Rush. Then Telepathy, obviously, the legendary Telepathy, down Wax, Residence at Morning After, things like that. Only a few raves, but that's how I got into the scene, through the pirate radio. So, right from the stem. Not no branch or twig, stem. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? So
You feel me? That is real.
so, and I grew with this thing as a baby, so obviously people say, how long you been doing this and you're still doing your thing and whatever, because I grew with jungle when jungle was growing, if that makes sense. So the likes of Det and everyone, and Skibbity and Stevie Hyper D, the legendary R.I.P. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, I was fortunate to be working alongside those guys, but I was I was much younger at this time, so than they was. So I grew with it as a baby, so I'm still here. I'll give thanks and praise. You know, 25 years later, man, still on stage ripping up. And obviously, I'm linked up with Storm, through a family connect, through his uncle Spanner. And yeah, everything else is history. Right now, it's kind of like a revolution of drum and bass right now. For the new, we said it to that earlier, for the new youths that don't know the history, this is what we're doing now. We're making music for them now, because the MC thing, yeah, we love it. We're doing shows every week, but the legacy will carry on longer through music. As you know, respect all the grime heads out there, the likes of Kano, Wiley, Dizzy, Lethal, all these guys here. Take my hat off to them guys there, because they big us up, or like big me up in tunes and things, but they're inspirations to me as well, innit? They inspire me.
Sorry to cut you out, I was just about to say that as well. If you, as a grime fan, listen to, I think it was the POW 2, the second one, you will hear Gets and Kano both quoted Shabba and Skibbity. They both quoted, because, you know what I mean? It's from what everybody's grown up to. These, both of them guys, Shabba, Skibba, and also the one like Det. So I don't want to leave this guy anywhere.
Legendary,
like, this is Det. To be honest, Det's the first MC I've ever heard. So, like, where does your journey start from?
Okay. So my journey is pretty simple, to be honest. I did an interview the other week. I was explaining that, you know, I was in other music, and the area, you know, I come from East London, and I was kind of known in my area for like MCing and over and chatting lyrics over rare grooves and reggae and stuff like that, and the sound system. So I had a sound system as well, my brothers and friends. And Brocky lived across the road from, you know, my house is here, and my mum's, and Brocky's house was there, where his mum's house was. So we lived across the road from each other. And so Brocky kind of asked me to come on the radio, you know, and listen and try out this. It was more hardcore jungle then. So I just went on radio with him, and it's a bit like what Shabba said. There wasn't really much involvement of MC as much at that time. It was more
hosting.
Just hosting and giving out shouts and bigging up people, you know, bigging up the DJ kind of thing. That was mainly how it first went forward. So that's my movement came through Brocky, where Brocky brought me on the radio, and then I stuck very close with, you know, Brocky and Cool FM and Eastman were very, very tight. So everything Brocky did, I just did. So if Brocky said come, I would just go. And you know, obviously I came from a background where it was of lyrics, you know, putting lyrics in. So I'm on this thing and I'm thinking, when am I going to get a chance to actually can chat some lyrics? Because there was only like 6 bars in between the manic music of hardcore jungle at the time. So you only had 6 bars to put in what you can put in there. Hence why if you listen to a lot of old tapes, you'll notice the MCs only had a small hook and would throw a lot of small hooks amongst the tracks that was played, because they only had about 6 bars of space for you to that had a groove that you can actually sit on. Obviously when I started doing it, there wasn't raves called jungle or drum and bass. It was more hardcore jungle and happy hardcore events, but mainly hardcore would have the kind of people you have today in the rave scene. So we were starting something new. Shabba might remember a time that the 2 radio stations clashed, the 2 last remaining big radio stations were Rush FM and Cool FM, and we did a Jungle Book clash at Holloway Road at the Rocket, and the response of the people that turned up, you know, the police were beating people in the street because it was cars were parked, double parked in the road, and it was just crazy. We were shocked ourselves at the amount of people that had come to see this event. So obviously, for promoters that saw that, they took to go on it. Do you know what I mean? And start to do these events. And from doing that, Jungle Fever done their very first one, and being one of their residents on a radio station connected to them called Cool FM, I got on that.
There's no time like showtime. Our time enough. There's no time like showtime. Our time enough.
So, that's one quick question in the air. What was the first weed strain you ever smoked?
Oh, here we go.
Let's dash that straight at that. Hey,
Weed
what is that? First weed strain?
weed or hash, it doesn't matter. What was the first thing?
What was it? Red Beer Cess. They don't even do that anymore. Red Beer Cess. Red Beer.
Yeah.
My dad talks about
Red Beer Cess.
Yeah,
That says red like, you know, you see some of those, the Asian people going to the mosque and their beard look red like, the weed look like that.
Yeah.
What if I picked up some of that and smoked it, we smoked the same? I don't know, red beard.
Mine definitely was like back in the day. The weed. Let me just mention this: the weed was different, innit? It was like what they call yard weed now and all that, and got high grade. You just had weed like that, good weed, green weed. But my first proper weed was Thai, proper like light Thai, not no this red string business. Yeah, I'm talking light like it had like white bits in it, bruv. Like I don't know, like beige. It was a beige colour. Yeah, proper Thai weed, brethren. Yeah, back in the day, lick off your face. Yeah, that was
sticky, innit? Sticky. Thai weed was sticky. That was And then for me, skunk was Northern Lights. That was the first weed. Yeah, Northern Lights.
All right, now we're getting a bit more hot to it.
And then from Northern Lights, then it was open up the doors going to Amsterdam, and you know what? That was the first weed I touched there was White Widow Shiver.
Jeez.
And I'll tell you what, this was rocking.
Going to skunk as well. The first skunk I smoked, Bin Laden. Yeah, we give it the name Bin Laden. You see my brethren vitamins to shop that, yeah, 140 hours, respect rich. Yeah, but back then, you know what I'm saying, yeah? No, it's a level. You know what I'm saying?
Shabba just stand up the whole thing.
East London, enough man come with the binny, yeah, but the binny come from the radio station, fam. I'm not saying it was me, but the man them give it the binny, innit? You know why? Because when you bun us before that, it clear out the room, innit? That's why man called it the binny. But you used to go to man, boy, what you got to draw and wear it? Man say, listen, and this is the binny, I don't want it. The Laden, yeah, so big up Vitz, because you're the originator, yeah? He run Weekend Rush, innit? He was the management, but he was the man. Trust me, the binny, 140, trust me, they were the days. But anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not really a skunk smoker in that kind of, I call it government weed. I'm not really smoking that kind of weed, but I remember one time many years ago, 2000 and something, I went to Amsterdam and they had the Cannabis Cup. The actual time that I was there, I was performing with Red Snapper actually, a band I was in, and it was a Cannabis Cup. And I remember I went to a coffee shop and they was giving out their best weed for this competition they do amongst the shops, and they gave me a weed called Killer Weed.
Killer weed, you know.
I should have known by the name of it that it weren't something I should take lightly. You know, it made me feel like I drank a big bottle of rum or something. My ass spinning and everything. I felt like I wanted to throw up. And then Killer Weed. If anybody offers you Killer Weed,
laughing at what you said, poo rock.
It's not a poo rock thing, bro.
You've been told.
Leather finger.
Right, while you're on deck, yeah, what was your first booking and how much was your wage?
Ha! My first
what and
booking.
where?
My first booking was Telepathy Wax.
Wicked.
And,
Payslip wage. Now you worked before that, man. You worked in Dalston Lane, brethren. We done.
Oh yeah, but I'm saying.
How much do you get for that?
My first wage was like.
What temper you talking
Let them
about?
know. They want to know your first wage.
Your first.
Doesn't matter what it was. Come on.
50 quid.
I know what mine was exactly.
It was like 50 quid.
Yeah.
And you have to remember back then it was like, I'm working with DJ Brocky, so what the promoter would do, a lot of people don't even realise that, like Shabba said, the radio started off this whole thing. So it was a faceless scene. Do you understand? It was just, you know, people recognise my voice, but they wouldn't know who I was. Do you understand? And also, it was a new thing. So back in the day, it was coming off the back of the DJ would be playing the music on the radio and talking.
You would get the money.
Do you understand? So people didn't realise when it was Brocky and Depp, they thought Brocky and Depp was one person.
I did.
You understand?
I thought it was MC Brocky, bro.
Yeah, so did I.
Yeah, so they thought Brocky and Depp was one person. So when I would turn up with Brocky to events, you know, the guy would be thinking like, well, I've got one way slip in this game to the guy who's playing the music. So for me, it was, you know, a lot of the time for the first couple of years, Brocky would actually take money out of his wage and give to me. Do you know what I'm saying? For MCing his set. So I suppose Brocky was always a cool guy, innit? So my first wage slip would have been from Brocky, who would have probably given me something like 40 quid. Do you understand? And I was really appreciative of it because at the time to be in a club, MCing, doing something that I enjoyed and to be paid for it, I was like,
of course.
It's amazing. And then, you know, okay, it weren't great money coming from Brock, but if me and Brox did 6 parties,
that was big money back in the day. £50 was
that's
alright.
£640. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Little you know what I'm saying?
So yeah, so it's, you know, that's £640, and if you did that every week, which you was doing it every week, then that's like a working wage. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, my first wage would have probably come from Brocky, but before that there was utmost people who did little parties, sometimes in pubs and stuff, and little warehousey things. That gave me a wage, but nothing was more than 40 quid. Do you understand?
Mine was 50. Mine was a nifty, and my first actual pay slip, I remember this like it was yesterday, yeah, was Outrage Budsby's, yeah. I got on the show with Hardcore General, DJ Rap, Stevie Hyper, MCMC. I worked before that, like they said, yeah, certain little things and got little change or whatever, but it was just a hobby. But my first pay slip with my name on it was Outrage Busby's, which was next door to Astoria in the West End, yeah. So that it was a day to remember, man. Like the first wage was just like, yeah, this is, you know what I mean, I'm actually doing something now. Do you know what I mean? Them times I was still at school. I was 13, I was 14 them times, 15, maybe 15.
Hello.
But yeah, that was like £50 was big money back then, man. That's almost like I wouldn't like to value. It's probably about $2.50, like now in the money because everything was cheaper. 10 Benson was. We had this argument, not argument, but debate the other day. What was your lowest? What did you remember cigarettes at your lowest price?
86p.
I remember 86p. I remember 75p, 74p.
I remember 86p.
10 Benson, 74p. Man, I can't remember them
That's
days.
old
So if you do the valuation on 50 quid. Do you know what I'm saying? You could buy a £5 drawer and it could last you a week.
Living.
Do you understand what that's real? A stripper that's long like this.
Yeah.
Right, so you know, there's different days, but like I said, man's getting older and all that, but everything's gone up in it now. £12 for a pack of cigarettes or £10 for a pack of 25. Do you know what I mean? So work it out. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, £50 and it was Outrage Busby's. That was my first wage. What was yours?
My first wage was most probably proper wage was celebrity. I think it was about £25.
Whoa! Whoa!
Big
Big boy money.
But see what? My first set, I come on after Randall and before Andy C. So you know what? £25 weren't even bothered about the £25. It's about playing with him, man. Obviously, Brocky and Deck was on the lineup as well.
Okay.
Lot of them man there. So yeah, £25. Then it went £50. I think I remember £75, and I thought I was gangster with the £75. I ain't gonna lie. What, £75 for 45-minute work?
Yeah.
And I was 16 years old, don't forget, back then, when I first come through. So, when I was that age, mans would do like newspaper round getting £15. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, to be real right, even, you know, I know we're talking mainly about the MC thing, right, but, you know, with our scene, jungle drum bass scene, it's like, we probably have some of the biggest parties in the world, but like, it's the most least paid artists in the, you know, out of all the rave scenes, house, garage, even grime, and so, you know, it's the least paid.
Most flourished.
Why do you think that is?
Well, because there hasn't really been an overexposure of jungle drum and bass in the world, and
no, it is. I'd say
it has. I've seen it in television places like that, man.
I'd not disagree there, but I'd say this as well. Going back to what we said earlier, we're making tunes, innit? Yeah. Now earlier we had the same debate without the cameras. It was a debate on, you know, we was ahead of our time back in the day. There's people interview saying that we never made tunes. Are you silly?
Yeah.
Are you nuts? Man was making tunes 15 years ago, bro. Yeah, many of tunes, but we was just, it weren't time. The production weren't there. The DJs didn't want to give us the rhythms. End of story, innit? Like the technology weren't there. The internet weren't there. All these things. So we got tunes. And now man's voicing tunes from back then to educate the new future now of the generation, to tell them things like we said. We've got so much tunes there. Storm's probably got tunes from back in there. I know Skibbity's got a catalogue of tunes. So this is what man's doing, revoicing them tunes and creating that history again for the education of the future, innit? And that is the new generation. Man like Swift is there, you know, new generation MC, you know, come. Do you know what I'm
Levels
saying?
in the place,
King of that. So
trust me.
that's what it's about. You know what I mean? Not educating him because he knows he sits down with man, but there's fans out there that don't know, innit? They think Shabba and Det might have started in 2001. Man started in 1990, you know, bruv. Yeah, 1990.
People make it to him again, please, one more time. What was that from? One more time, please. What year was that?
1990, bruv. Yeah, I'm born 77. Work it out, innit?
Certain man don't even know what 99 is.
So obviously, like I said earlier on the camera, man grew with jungle as a root. Yeah, you know, the certain man, and man said it to me the other day on the phone, a big man in the game, yeah, big up P, yeah, because his foundation in the jungle thing. But hear what now, yeah, man said to me about root. He said, listen, I planted the seeds. Check that out, yeah. So there's the root, but there's the man that plants the seeds. Certain man want to come on and water the seeds, innit? And then when the apples grow on the tree, they want to pick the apples. But I'm talking, man, foundation this thing here, innit? So the MC thing, and like we're going back to that subject again about tunes, we need to bring out tunes to get that recognition, because jungle's everywhere now more than anything. Yeah, D&B has got its scene, as well as that was saying we ain't everywhere or whatever. It weren't maybe back in the day, but now the likes of Sigma.
It's everywhere, man, worldwide.
Yeah, it's commercialised now, so them days are done. But what it is with the MCs, it's my opinion, Shabba, we ain't got enough music to recognition, enough videos on the telly. Like Deck was saying earlier, our own scene of tunes. We was ahead of our time, but now, it's never too late, brethren.
And the girl get wanted. And the girl get